guys, what's up? It is Simone here. Welcome back to my channel. So today in this video, I'm going to be making a 3-layer 6-inch cake. I'm going to be using cake mix from Crocker. It's the butter recipe yellow box. It's actually one of my favorites because it comes out tasting amazing. It has a pound cake type of texture to it. This video is definitely for beginners. So I pretty much follow the instructions on the back of the cake mix box, and then I will add in some vanilla extract just to add an extra bit of flavor to the cake. I'm going to be using some parchment paper, and I have these 6-inch cake pans that I got from Amazon. Trace the bottom of it onto the parchment paper, and you'll see why I'm doing this later and the benefit of it. Now, I never use the first paper because obviously the pencil and the lead and stuff like that. So I folded a couple of times so that I only have to cut the square once, but I'll have like 4 squares since I have 4 cake pans. This is actually my first time using these cake pans, and they're amazing. Like, my cakes were not burnt on the bottom or anything. Amazing. So I'll have that link for you down below. I still spray it though to put on the bottom of the cake and around the cake, and then I put the paper on the bottom. This also prevents the bottom from sticking or anything. I believe you can actually buy these papers the size of the cake pan, but I just cut mine. And then don't fill your pans up. As you guys may know, just put either half or a little less than half. Then my last final step before I place it into the oven, I only do 2 at a time because I feel like my oven is just, it has a mind of its own. But I do slap the cake pans on the counter to release any air bubbles. This will make all the air bubbles come up to the surface. And so like I don't have any holes in the cake that I used to experience in the past. So, the best part ever, vanilla buttercream. I love it. Make sure your ingredients are room temperature, like the butter. You'll know if your butter is perfectly room temperature if you can stick your finger into the butter and it will not slide and melt. Finger imprint should actually stay put into the butter. If it's all melty and droopy, it will make your buttercream kind of like too wet and soupy, and we don't want that. I only put half of the cream cheese because sometimes the cream cheese can overpower and make it taste too cream cheesy. Now, if you're doing red velvet, that's perfect, but we're not. So I just want to put half because I like the little pop that it gives to it and kind of balances the sweetness. I also used 2 pounds. You can use 3 pounds, but I do 2 pounds, and I measured it because I had so much extra bags of flour just laying around, sugar laying around, and I wanted to kind of get rid of them. Make sure your machine is on low speed because this powder will fly everywhere in your kitchen. You could also do this with a handheld mixer or with a spoon. So you don't have to be using only a KitchenAid mixer. I put 3 tablespoons of heavy cream to start off, and then I'll gradually put the other 2. Then for the vanilla, I put 1 tablespoon. Now this sea salt, I want to make it clear, do not use the sea salt, but it's the only salt that I have. Use smaller and finer salt, regular salt. Do not use sea salt because it will, it doesn't dissolve as easily, but it's the only one I had. And I like to put salt because it balances the flavor. So the crumb coats for me is the best part. So I found those cake drums on Amazon as well, and this is what I was talking about, the paper. You can just peel it off easily. It's not burnt. I'm actually going to be using this cake leveler to make sure the cakes are all level and not, slanted. You can also do it by hand with the knife if you have a serrated knife. Put a dollop of buttercream on the bottom of the cake drum to kind of stick the cake there. And then I'm just going to put some buttercream all over the top of this layer. And please excuse my nails, okay? I am one of the few that have not visited the nail salon because of quarantine and in the pandemic, so I hope to get my nails done soon, but please excuse them, please. As I'm a little rough in this video, which is why you're not seeing my face. And then just spread any excess icing over the cake along with some extra icing. You really want to lock the crumbs in there. You don't want any crumbs to be free, because when you're putting on your final layer of icing, of buttercream, it will be in the final layer and look all lumpy. Again, everything that I got in this video, I believe, was directly off of Amazon.
You're one of a kind.
So for the final buttercream layer, I like to put a thinner layer than what I need to. I don't like too much icing, because if it's too sweet, it just overpowers the cake and then it's too overwhelming to eat. So put enough to make sure you cover the cake fully and scrape off enough without taking off too much, if that's not confusing. And then I'm gonna use a scraper thingy to just scrape it off. I think it's called a bench scraper or something like that. And I put tape on the bottom because the cake was sliding all over the place, but I believe there are mats that you can put underneath this so that it does not slide, but until we get that, we're just gonna use tape. I want to mention to you guys, any extra icing that you may have, keep it in a tightly sealed container. That's why I put it in these containers. You want it to be in a tightly sealed container so that it does not ruin the icing. Also, because there is cream cheese in this icing, you will have to put it in the fridge. Now for this little piece, I just wanted to eat it. I was hungry right then and there, and I didn't use the fourth layer, if you guys noticed. I just used the third one because I just didn't want it to be too tall. It's too much to eat. Now for decoration, take out a small amount, and I'm gonna color my icing. So I have this purple violet color. And if you use a toothpick, do not double dip with your toothpick. Now, the more you dip, the more darker the color will become. I'm gonna be using some Wilton piping bags and then a 1M Wilton piping tip. I'm gonna just slide it inside, make a mark, and then pull off the excess plastic. And then I wanted like a multicolor kind of like thing going on, so I put pink on one side of the piping bag, and then I put purple on the other side of the piping bag, so that when I squeeze it in on top of the cake, it's kind of like a nice mixture. Next, we're gonna be using peach. I am just piping away. I'm going to be doing some I think it's called rosettes or roses on top. I was going to do 3 originally and ended up doing 4, which is why the 4th one is a little slanted and off-centered. But yeah, I think I'm using a 5 tip for the yellow, and for the peach, I'm not sure, I remember. But thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have always been asking me for a cake video, so here it is. Finally recorded it. Shut up, Deja. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Kisses.